Hey guys, welcome on the EmpowHer Journey. I'm here with Clem.
Hi.
And I'm Anna. No, we don't have to say that, sorry. So today we welcome you on our first episode because this is the first month of the year. It's January and we wanted to talk about resolution. Because I'm sure it was the 1st of January really recently and you took resolutions, and we want to explain to you why resolutions fail and how to change for good. So for this first episode, we wanted to present you 3 questions and we're going to answer them right now. So Clem, can you tell me why resolutions fail?
Yeah, we wanted to start with that because we realized that actually resolution is such a big thing, especially at the beginning of the year. And you probably there thinking like, if I don't have resolutions, I'm not normal. I should be setting goals and having resolutions. So we wanted to give you a little bit of information actually about that. And one of the statistics that actually I found the most relevant is that 80% of resolution fail.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's huge, isn't it? So I think it's interesting to consider actually as a first question, why resolution fail? Why 80% of resolution fail? It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. So tell us everything, Clem.
So what we understanding about the failure is that there's actually different reasons, and usually the main reason is the reason why you took those resolutions, and if they're actually aligned or not aligned with you. So, for example, some resolutions are not specific enough. Some resolutions are like too ambitious, like going to the gym twice a day, every day. And they say that you can't sustain them. And after 2 weeks, you're like, I'm exhausted. That doesn't work. They're too ambitious. It's not specific enough. Or sometimes as well, it's like more of a punishment towards yourself rather than something constructive, something good for you. And the wording actually can be very, very important there. Like actually you're blaming yourself for being lazy or that sort of things, that tends to create a very negative and very self-violent sort of energy. Yeah. Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah. So yeah, about that, what's really important for you is to understand how your brain works.
Yeah.
If you've been doing this habit for so many years, I don't know if it's smoking, biting your nails, or eating too much, or whatever you choose to work on, just understand that your brain was doing that for a good reason. And it has been doing that for a good reason for a long time. And it's just not one decision at New Year that can change everything. You really need to understand why you were doing that. And it's not just why you were doing that, but to understand that if you want to change, it's not going to be really quick or really soon just because you just decided. So you really need to understand what's going on to your brain and this habit. How can you change this habit for good? Not just to decide, okay, I'm going to go to the gym twice a day and stop after 1 week. You need to really put that into your routine and change all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Because also the fact that you've probably been trying to change that habit for so many years, and the fact that it's New Year and it's January is not going to make it easier to actually change. You got to have a little bit of a step back as well, understanding maybe what happened initially when this habit was created. What was at stake? Was it a way to compensate on the emotional state? Why did you need this habit in a way to function better? And so maybe you need to go back also to the root cause of what happened there. Another thing as well that we found is that people tend to maybe compare themselves too much to others, right? And there's also the power of trends and like diets, for example. Like there's this new diet, so okay, I'm going to go on this new diet because it seems very very cool or something like that. And that is connected to the sense of comparison. So instead of doing something for myself, then I'm doing something for others, or that might be expected of me, or that sort of things. And that's usually also why then it's not going to be sustainable, because it's not actually, as you said, Anna, it's not aligned with your why and with your how. So that's not what works for you, right?
Yeah, as a hypnotist, I've seen that a lot. People that came into my office and say, I want to stop smoking. And you're like, okay, why do you want to stop smoking? Because my wife wants me to. That can't work. That really doesn't work like that. So why do you want to change? That's really important to know why. Because as you said, the change needs to be aligned to your lifestyle. It needs to be aligned to your values and aligned to yourself. So if you want to change because your girlfriend wants you, because your friends are doing this, so you want to do this, that's not going to work. Your brain will say, that's not for me, so it won't do this. And some habits are really ingrained into your brain because it's been a long time. So the neurological path, is really strong in your brain. So it's not because you've been doing the new change for a week. That's going to be a reflex. So you really need to build the reflex. And the way to do it is the way for your brain to be happy about that. So your why is really important. Your how is really important. And usually when you take a resolution, it's a quick decision. So you don't really take stock of, is it a good habit I want to say. And I remember when we had this talk with Clem, she told me about having a vision for the change. And that's so true. Why do you want to change? Is it because you want to be healthy? So it's great for you to be healthy and stop smoking, but there are so many ways to be healthy. So if right now stop smoking is not something that you really want to, there are so many ways for you to be more healthier. Maybe it's doing some sports, maybe it's going on walks. There's so many things. So they're really... Yeah.
Exactly. And it's so crucial, isn't it? Because even this idea of comparison, actually, you're looking at someone, maybe wishing to have, I don't know, whatever the person has. Like if we go back to this example of health, we're seeing the neighbor running and we're like, oh, I want to be like that. I want to be fit like her. But that's not really what we want. What we look into others is actually maybe some happiness, or maybe, and we want that happiness that this person has. And the way to get our happiness is not the way the neighbors do it. So we need to actually go a bit beyond maybe some of these resolutions, as you said, that can be a bit superficial, and go deeper. What is it really about? Why? Why am I needed to do that? So that's what we mean about the why as well. What's actually deeper inside of me that I want to change? What is my vision? What am I going for in the long term? Where do I want to go?
Sure. Definitely.
And so it's really a great way as well to transition to our second question, which is then how do we set the right goals? How do you make sure that the goals that you are setting are actually the ones that work for you and that's really aligned to who you are? And there are the ones that you're going to be able to build and sustain in the long term.
Definitely. Yeah. So the first idea we wanted to talk about is the SMARTER technique. Yeah. So how to set a goal with this technique is the goal needs to be specific. I'm so sorry, I'm having some doubt. What is the M again?
Measurable.
Measurable. So you need to understand, to be able to measure it. Did you do progress on your goal or not? And did you reach the goal or not? I'm sorry, Clem, please help me.
Achievable.
Okay. Achievable. It needs to be reasonable. So for me, achievable means that it's a challenge, but it's not too big a challenge.
Yeah.
So, but you want to be excited about your goal. So it's not something that you can do tomorrow. Mm-hmm. There's a bit of work to reach the goal, but it's not too unrealistic, or you will be disappointed of yourself and satisfied, and that's not what we want. Mm-hmm. The R is
realistic.
Realistic. So that's a bit of achievable. Yeah. The T is
time based with the timeline.
So as we said, it's not tomorrow I want to do this. It's in 1 month, in 2 months, and maybe it's going to be a year, and that's also okay to take time to reach your goal. EE is my favorite because that's really what I want to talk about goals. It's ecological. That's really something that you want to work on. Is it good for you? You can say, yeah, if I stop smoking, that's good for you. Yeah, but is it okay because your husband is smoking? So every time you're going to see your husband, he's going to be smoking, you're going to smell the cigarette, and you are going to want to smoke. So is it ecological for you to stop smoking right now? Yeah. If you are working in a company where the only break you can have is by smoking, you have to understand all that, you know. So is it ecological for you to stop smoking? And the last R is?
It's hang on, reward. How you gonna have a reward?
So how can you reward yourself for every step you get right reaching your goal? So this is really something we talk a lot in coaching. It's about doing baby steps. So it's not this year in 2022 I'm gonna stop smoking. It's the first month of 2022 I'm going to smoke only 2 cigarettes per day. In February I'll try to smoke 1 week and then stop 1 week. And this is all about baby steps, so it's more achievable for you. And if you have a setback, it's not too bad because you're just going on the step just before, and you can have lots of victories. And our brains function like that. He loves reward. If we go through life, it's because we get reward. So it's really important to find healthy reward. So don't go out for a drink every time you reach a goal. But yeah, reward yourself every time. We can have lots of victories every day. So please do that. That's how your brain is going to work with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that really helps as well with this vision to have those milestones along the way, and also the result, the ultimate result, that where you're achieving, the reason why you're doing that helps you to get this compass to work through this different temporality. Because we are not looking for, you know, resolution are usually like in the month of January, as we said, and they just fade away within that very month. And it's a shame, isn't it? Because we've got this energy, this new energy about this new year. We want to make the most of that year and create so many things. But because we do it the wrong way, then we actually give up on a lot of things. And the temporality there I think is crucial. And the fact that we probably associated January with resolutions rather than maybe seeing a longer term vision, I think it's very crucial for those changes in the long term, and to make sure that you're actually going to get where you want to go.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
What I really want to highlight is about acceptation, because usually when we set a goal and we sabotage ourselves, so it means that we really want this goal, but something in ourselves make us miss the goal. So this is about the ego. The ego wants to stay as it is, not because it's right, but because he's afraid of disappearing. Yeah. So you really need to work with your ego as well, with your brain, with your ego. And one good way to work with your ego is to not just talk to him, because that really helps you if you feel like crazy when you do that. But there's the first amazing part, who is acceptation. It's okay to be as you are right now. There's nothing wrong with you. And even if you smoke, even if you're overweight, even if whatever you do that you don't like, it is okay. Please accept that, because the only way to go forward is for you to accept. What we say is, what you resist persist, and that's really not what you want right now. So please accept yourself how you are, and that's going to be the first step for you to change. Yeah. So really think about that, love yourself the way you are, and then you will be able to move toward your goals. Yeah.
And it's so crucial, again, connecting to the reasons why resolution fail. We talked about this self-violence and this punishment. If you approach this month of January saying all that is wrong with you and what you shouldn't be doing and the terrible things and the terrible habits and all this room for improvement that is just so big. It's a palace of improvement. It's completely overwhelming you. You're actually in self-violence and in self-judgment, and it's not going to get you very far. And this is what happens with the resolution failing, right? So much frustration. I can be hard on myself so bad I can't hold that very long, right? And thank God for not holding that too long, because that's not very sustainable. So what you want to do is accept what is, and really go into, okay, what is there and how can I actually bring to myself the things that are going to fulfill my needs. We don't want to frustrate yourself. We don't want to be blind to your needs. Like, oh, I'm just going to ignore the fact that I need and I have this portion to this and that. I want to understand it, maybe replace it by a better habit. And taking baby step, being very, very gentle with yourself, isn't it? This is acceptance is also the message of this gentleness, because what we want is a lifestyle change, not a January resolution.
True. It's like with a kid, tough love doesn't really work. You want to make the kid improve. You want to make the kid autonomous. You don't want to just to be mean to him so he would grow. That's not how it works. So do the same with you. If you're setting a goal, please think of you as a kid, how you want the person to change. How do you want to change? How do you want to reach your goal? And do it like really gentle and really benevolently. So about this lifestyle change, when you want to change, when you want to create habits, one of the most important things to think about is the environment around you. How do you want your environment to help you to change? So if you want to go to the gym, maybe you can prepare your sport bag before, during the night. So when you wake up, you're like ready to go for sport. There are so many things that you can change, like small improvement that you can make so you can sustain your goal. So that's really important to see your change as a lifestyle change. You want to get healthy, there's so many things to do. You want to go to the gym or to get fitter, there's so many things to do. You can find the right fit for you by testing new things, by changing small things in your place so you can reach your goal more easily.
Absolutely. This is very, very important. Thanks for reminding us of that. So it's about removing the friction as much as you can in your environment, the friction that actually is going to create a difficulty. I don't know, you're trying to lose weight and on the counter in your kitchen there's like chocolates and brownies and sweets, and every time you walk in your kitchen you're going to see them, right? That creates a friction. It's difficult. You're going to resist that. So please put them away, put them out of sight, that little things like that, and make sure that healthy food is accessible, snacks are available, etc. As you were saying, how do you make your life more and more consistent, congruent with this new lifestyle change? How do you help yourself there? And also, how can you be more careful of the wording, right? So we're trying to remove all this self-violence, this frustration, because no pain, no gain doesn't actually work. It's not the right mindset, isn't it? We're trying to create a better life. We're not going for less this or less that, or harder this or harder that. We're going for better. We're going for a better version of ourselves. We're getting for this highest life that we could build for ourselves. So the choice of words. Sorry about that. The choice of word is very important. And for example, if you're talking about losing weight, you might want to reframe that wording, because losing something is not very positive for the brain. It won't like it. So you're not losing weight, but you're reaching a certain weight. You're getting healthier. You're getting lighter. Can you see the difference energetically in between losing weight and getting lighter? Yeah. So that can actually create, also on the brain level, as we said early on, we want to work with the brains. We want to be in favor of the brain so that it supports really this journey, and making sure that even in the wording of your goals, so we're talking about how to set the goals, you make sure you're very positive and your intention is energetically super positive.
Yeah, definitely. One of my goals for this year, 2021, work less hard. And at first the idea was really, I want to stop working hard. I want to stop. And my brain was like, if you stop working, you will never reach your goals. So every time I was in resistance and I was like, oh my God, I want to stop working this hard. And my brain was, no, no, no. So I was thinking of work every time, every day before going to sleep. When I woke up, every time I was thinking about working. And at some point I was like, okay, no, no, no. I'm going to do this differently. I just want to rest more. I just want to enjoy my life, having more fun, things like that. And it was so much easier because every time I woke up, I was like, okay, this is time for work or for fun. Okay, this is time for fun. And I was okay about it. This is time for work or for rest. Yeah, time for work. I was happy to go to work and I was happy to work on my website and all that things because I had time to rest and I had time to have fun. So it's really important for your brain to understand that what you're trying to do is good for you. Yeah. If you say less of, as you said, Clem, your brain is not going to be happy because it doesn't want to have less of anything, less of problem, but it does not understand that. And the brain usually doesn't understand no and negative things. So if you say, I don't want to gain more weight, he's going to understand gain more weight. So the same, please don't put goals with negative words in it. He's not going to understand. So I want more of, I don't remember what you said when the example was, but
being lighter, being healthier, being slimmer, there's different words.
That's really important. Yeah.
It's a great example. And it's another way to illustrate that the power of the words is also when you talk to children. If you tell a child, don't touch the TV, don't touch the TV, don't touch the TV. You're bringing the attention more and more and more towards that TV. That, why should I touch that? Because my attention is so brought to that I just want to go and touch it. Now that you mention it, like if I say to you, don't think about a pink elephant. A pink elephant is going to probably come to your mind because I'm mentioning it. So think about, and that's maybe a way to help you to phrase your goals and make sure that you use the right wording and the right intention behind that. Think about the results. If you're focusing on something that you don't want, a problem that you have in your life, what would that be without it? What do you get if you get rid of whatever that is? What do you build instead of that? And that is going to create a complete different intention and a lot more sustainable and not more able to create that long-term change. Yeah,
definitely. And there's so many roads to reach your goal. So if you just stuck with the problem, I just got my motorcycle driving license, and the guy was like, never look at at what's on the road and you want to avoid. You just look far, far, far from you. And that's so important because if you just look at what you want to avoid, you're going there and you don't want to go there. So just look far to your success and you will see there's so many roads. Maybe it's going to be straight and it's going to be easy and it's going to be cool, but sometimes it's going to be a bit weird, but that's your way and that's okay. That's your journey. So you can learn a lot about yourself when you reach goals, and that's amazing. That's really amazing. So be happy with every victory and just follow your road. That's okay.
Exactly. Keeping in mind this vision that we mentioned, right? So that's your focus point, right? You're already ahead and following the road where it takes you. And this is the journey, isn't it? This is the empowerment journey. It's the beauty also, as you said, of learning and learning more about yourself, learning more about others, all the skills, all the learning that you accumulate also on that road. It's just really, really worth it. Yeah.
Just before going to the third questions, I remember a coach that told me, we always minimize what we can. No. We always oversize what we can do in 1 year, but we minimize what we can do in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years. So this is really important for you to keep the huge and beautiful vision that you have and go your way.
Yeah.
So the next question is how to implement long-term change.
Yeah. So we started with the why, maybe with the what, and now how we do it. How do we do that? And actually, the fact that you've secured and you strengthen also the reason why you do that and what specifically you do already sets you in a really good, way to succeed. And having the vision, having the plan, is going to help. But it's not only about that. It's going to also be able to adapt as the bumps on the road come, and if we want to continue on that metaphor of the analogy. So you want to hack your brain and you want to work with it. Yeah. We don't want to go against it. We want to work with it. And for that, it's very important, as we already mentioned, to understand how it works and how you can make it work in your favor and actually strengthen those neurological pathways. This is so powerful. We don't realize, I think. So when we initially, when I was doing New Year's resolution, I didn't realize how deep I was touching. And this is also why sometimes we judge ourselves so hardly, like, why am I not able to do this simple thing and to create this new habit? Well, because it is very, very deep. So you need to have a plan that is consistent with yourself. And that's, again, something we can't say enough. What works for you? This is not about anyone else. This is about you. You have to explore very deeply who you are and how you can do this and that. And as Anna already mentioned, it's also about trying different things, seeing whether this technique could work or whether this. Am I more visual? What is my personality? Am I more auditory? Am I more physical? And how can I have that plan, and how can I adapt the plan as well as I go along, right?
True. On a day-to-day basis, there's lots of things to hack your brain. As we said, to work with your brain, to work with your ego, and stop sabotaging yourself. I remember reading a great book. It's called Atomic Habits. And it was saying a lot about how to create a new habit. It's by sticking this new habit to one that you already have and you like. For example, I love to do my laundry while my coffee is brewing. So what I do is when I wake up, I go in the kitchen, I start my coffee machine, and then I just have to turn back, and there's where I do my laundry. So it's like easy for me. I don't think about it. I pour my coffee machine and beam, I just do my laundry. So this is a great, great way to hack your brain, to create a new habit. And there's so many things that you can do, so it's easier for you. As we said, you change your environment. Yeah. If you go on shopping, grocery shopping, don't do it while you're hungry because you're going to want to buy everything. And if you want to get fitter and not lose weight, please don't do that. There's so many things. So just know how your day goes through, and that's really important to see how your day is, what you do every day, because lots of our habits are reflex. Yeah. And what we want is to deconstruct the reflex. We want to deconstruct it so we can change it. But if we don't understand that this is the reflex and that you have it and it's because of that and that and that, you can deconstruct it. So really understand how you do your whole day. Yeah. And why do you have this habit, and get rid of it by, as you said, maybe if it's not eating a cake, it can be eating a carrot or anything else that you want. If it's not smoking, maybe you can just go outside and have some breathing, so it's healthy for you, and you change, because usually smoking makes you calmer. You have this opportunity to recenter and to be outside and something like that. So just find something else that brings you the same value. And it's going to be easier for you to change. So there's so many ways to hack your brain, and just find what's working for you.
Absolutely. That was amazingly said. And what the brain is going to like, again, going back to this idea of it doesn't want to lose things. It's going to like the fact that you're implementing new things, even if what you want is to get rid of something. And the best way, as you were saying, is to also, when you're trying to implement new habits, is to also connect it to a habit that you already have in place, rather than like saying, I'm going to wake up an hour earlier every morning and I'm going to do blah blah blah, and when the alarm goes and you're like, no way. I need to sleep some more. So that you're really trying to add a new part of your day. So it's better to attach it to something that you're already doing, and create that as an addition. And so it's connected to another habit. So there's an anchor to it in a way.
Definitely.
And the fact of because for some people as well, and the more deeper I think you go on with life, and the deepest as well, the changes or the resolutions, as we call it, are going to be. So for example, it could be being less anxious, being more happy, being more present. And that is also something to achieve that. You have to put in place new routine, new things in your routine, change gradually the way you also build your day, and have more breaks, use different tools that work for you, mindfulness, or maybe the way to organize your work as well. The tools are as broad as they can be, right? Can't they? Optimizing your environment, maybe getting a better tool to organize your workload, because actually, for example, having heavy to-do list, never ending, that's not good for your brain as well. It's a mental charge additional, and that's not really creating the lightness and the more enjoyable way to work. For example, if you're working in you're self-employed, or even if you're not self-employed. So all these little things actually are going to help you build and get towards this more congruent life. And this is by adding new things, creating new habits. And what I found as well in my experience is the consistency. It's not only like on Friday night when I finish work. It's actually all through my day. It's actually about a lot more about the routine and the resilience, and the way instead of waiting for things to go really bad and really down, really bad, I'm maintaining more and more things at flow. Yeah,
Definitely.
Yeah. Excellent. And the other thing that we wanted to touch base on that was also about asking for help. So we talked about tools and resources, right? Asking for help is another tool or resource, right?
And it's an amazing resource, definitely.
Yeah.
I used to bite my nails for a long, long time, and one of the best way I had was to ask for help to a hypnotist, and that's how I became one. So yeah, that's really asking for help is a resource. Don't think of it as I can't do it on my own or anything like that. Yeah. You really want to think about empowering thoughts every time. If you ask for help, that's amazing. It means that you have friends. It means that you have someone to help you. This is support. This is a resource. This is amazing. And sometimes we really need an objective point of view of how we do things, of how that's what we do as coaches. So that's really, really important to have accountability buddies. Yeah. With Clem, we started being friends by being accountability buddies when we started to start our businesses. And that's an amazing journey as well. So please ask for help. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It doesn't mean that you're a weak person or no, on the contrary. Admitting that we are weak on something is one of the strongest things you can do in your life, and that's pretty amazing. So yeah, ask for help every time you can. That's really amazing, because the other person is going to offer you something and you can offer him something else, and that's beautiful. That's a social link, and that's really beautiful. Yeah. So ask for help. Yeah.
Absolutely, one of the bravest things that you can do. And well, that's something that we embrace, as coaches. We do get help among our peers. We usually have a coach ourselves, or a supervisor, or so we do need those resources, because what happens is, as you described, for a lot of things, we're not even aware when we are in autopilot type things and reactions, and we do need sometimes the perspective and the distance of also discussing it with someone, to actually being able to see, having the awareness of like, oh, this is what's happening, and yourself with yourself, you're kind of stuck, and you do need sometimes to step back, as well as the resources to be actually able to reprogram your brain. So we're talking about reprogramming our brain neurologically. So there are different tools to do that. There's meditation, there's NLP, there's hypnosis that we mentioned. and all those tools can be done in coaching with a trained coach. So and by trying also different things, you're going to find out what's going to work gradually. And there's probably not going to be one magic pill that's going to create all of a sudden an amazing, incredible change in turnover in your life. It's probably more little things along the way that you're going to implement and make yourself more and more. And by collecting all those tools and all those resources, you're going to be able to get further. Because if you stay with yourself, you're probably going to stay where you are without the tools and the resources.
True.
Excellent. And yeah, just something about the fact that it's important, as we mentioned with the smarter goals, to reward yourself and to consider actually also every step as a victory. And even sometimes a relapse is actually also a small victory, because the journey might not be linear, as we mentioned, right?
Definitely. And one thing about that is failing is amazing because you can learn something. So every time there's a relapse, take some time to understand why. Was it a fear talking? Was it just a bad habit? Was it something in your environment that you need to change? Just try to understand so the next time you won't relapse again about this problem. So yeah, relapse is amazing. Take time to be gentle to yourself, to be benevolent, to love yourself. It's okay. As we said, it's a journey. There's so many things that can happen in the journey. So yeah.
And a lot of those New Year's resolutions are also usually about things that have been in place, bad habits that you have in place, probably some of the earliest bad habits that you had. And we really expect to have this click and have that gone, with a magic pill or something like that. And it makes sense as well that even, if historically this is one of the things, the earliest habits that you've put into place, it may make sense as well that it takes a little bit more time in your journey to figure that out and to completely sort of transcend it. And that's what you're doing by those every steps. And that's why this every step in itself is a victory, getting you closer to the goal that you're going for. Yeah.
That's really important what you just said, definitely, because when we learn some habits when we are young, it means that it's for survival. So the good things as the bad things, they were there for survival. So as an adult, it's not for survival. It's not still for survival, but your brain still thinks that he's gonna die if he stops doing that. So that's really important for you to understand how to work with your brain and make him understand that right now you're safe, that right now everything is okay, and you just want to do things differently. Yeah.
Again, it's really this idea of working with yourself, being gentle, embracing and accepting.
Definitely. That's how you are a strong and loving woman. True.
Great. So we wanted to finish this episode by actually sharing with you the tips that we would give to our younger self. So if we could go back in time and meet our younger selves, what sort of tips would we be sharing with our younger self?
Yeah, I think I would love to say to my younger self that always do things from love. Go back to love. I was working on something this week and this sentence popped up into my mind because I was like angry, I was pissed, I was some bad feelings, about myself and how things were growing through. And I was like, oh my God, I just need to go back to love. Why do I do this? I do this for that and that. And this is my reason. This is how I want to do it. Everything is okay. So whatever you do it with love. You want to live your life with your own rules. So just don't be a dictator, be a leader. Leader are charismatic because they do things with a vision, with love. And that's what you want to do with your life. And one of big things I would have told myself, I would want myself to know when I was younger, is about resistance and acceptation. Because if you want to get through an addiction, for example, you need to recognize that you're an addict. And that truth about yourself, that acknowledgement about yourself is the hardest step. because you really need to embrace that. Yeah, fuck, I'm an addict, you know, and it's okay because I know in my true self that I can live without that. But first, you really need to know what's wrong to get better.
Yeah.
So I would have loved to know that first. Like, yeah, I need to accept myself how I am right now. Know about resistance, you know, why am I sabotaging myself? And there's nothing wrong with you if you're sabotaging yourself. That's human. Everybody does it. So yeah, the three things I would have known. Go back to love always, always, always. Accept yourself and then know about your resistance. Yeah.
Great. Awesome. That's really powerful.
Mm.
What I think I'd say to my younger self is actually a quote by Einstein that really helps me to understand how to implement change, because there were things in my life, you know, that it took me years and years and years to figure out how to actually get to the change that I wanted. And Einstein said that you cannot change a problem with the same state of consciousness, the same state of thinking as the way you created them. And that just really opened my eyes to consider that quote, actually. And I was like, yes, I was just like continuing the same state of consciousness as when the problem got in place in the first place. So no wonder that that I wasn't going anywhere. But I'm really glad I kept the persistence. I kept going. I kept trying new things. And the message I would have overall for my younger self is that you're doing amazing. You're doing amazing, and you don't acknowledge enough, you know, what you're doing and all the things that you're trying, and the way you persist in this journey. And because I used to take it really seriously and very personally, that when I would have a relapse, or when any time I was feeling down, like I was going back to square one, for example, square zero. That was one of my big things. I had this. It was very difficult for me to see the progress, to see the progression. Always had this impression of stagnating or not going further. So I would really want to reassure my younger self that yes, I am going further. Yes, I'm going to reach the goals that I want. Yes, I'm going to get it. Just really reassuring and saying that there's no, as you were saying, there's no failure, only learning, and I'm doing amazing on that journey. So
that's beautiful. I love that. So to just one thing about what you said with the Einstein quote, I remember having an amazing exercise that really helped me to go through change as well. Is about really defining who is your you of the future, you know, the one that you really want to be. And every time you have a decision, every time you want to do something, go back to this person and ask yourself, what would this person, my future me, would do? Yeah. Like, maybe she would have breathed the air, go inward instead of smoking. Maybe she would have throw away all the cakes instead of eating it and all that. So it really helped me to design her. Yeah. So I could really relate to her when I needed her. So she was my help. When I needed help, I went to her, and it was really helpful because she knew better, because she was my future, you know. That's a good exercise. That's amazing. As we said, if we do the same thing, we can have another result. So
so you were accessing a different state of consciousness this way. Yeah, that's great. And I love the fact that as well it shows, it's a proof that it's possible. You're not doubting that you're not going to get there. It's already your future self.
You're there, just there.
And you can connect with that person, and that can become your now. So that's super.
Yeah, that was really helpful. So
yeah. Have a play with that. So we hope that you enjoy that you had fun in this episode. It would be great to have your feedback, because as you know, it was our first episode of the Empowerment Journey for those who want it all. So please get in touch with us, just through our social media or for our email, theempowherjourney@gmail.com. It'll be absolutely amazing. Just your suggestions, your questions, the different things that you'd like us to talk about, and we hope to see you soon again.
Definitely. See you soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.